Hi, this is Knitting Brow. A while ago, I posted a blog post about my boy crush on Wonder Mike of the Fiber Beat podcast. So it was kind of weird. But I was also emailing Anthony, who is involved with the Fiber Beat podcast. And we had a nice exchange, and it was wonderful because he complimented me on my blog, so thank you, Anthony, I appreciate it. And I asked him what topics he would like to hear about. So this topic is he said he'd love to hear my perspective on being a male knitter. Are you often the only man in a room otherwise filled with women knitters? Absolutely. I am that a lot of times. I used to work at a local yarn shop, and I enjoyed that. I don't have a problem with being the only male knitter in the room. I have enough gumption about myself to be able to stand on my own. I'm not going to just sit there and be quiet. And so for me and my personality, being the only one doing something actually is fine. I often am the only one knitting in public at different places, and so that's cool. And Anthony also asked what my other guy friends think of this hobby. It's part of who I am, and they have come to expect me to have my knitting with me at all times. In fact, Knit SB, when we first met, part of the requirements for us to date was that he have a job, he have a library card, and that he knew how to knit or would be willing to knit. So he knows how to knit because I taught him to knit, and that was quite fun. It's one of those things that I like people who are passionate about what they do, and I'm passionate about knitting. So I don't really get teased about it. There was a point last weekend where I was knitting in line at a restaurant, waiting to place my order, and the lady kept looking at me, and it was like I was like speaking Greek or something. I had 5 heads, and it was just kind of funny, and I had to ask her to move so I could get around her. And, so I tried to be as polite as possible. It did frustrate me, but I was polite, and I was smiling, and I was knitting. She came up to me, and she was like, "Are you knitting?" And I'm like, "Yes." And she's like, "Oh," and, the conversation starts to go along. I was actually surprised that she knew that I was knitting, because I was knitting a sock. And a lot of people see, and I don't know if this happens to other people out there, but when I'm knitting in public and people who are not into the craft actually say, "Oh, are you crocheting?" Well, in fact, no, I'm not crocheting. And to be honest with you, I don't correct them other than to say, "No, I'm knitting." But I don't say crocheting is with a hook and knitting is with a needle. So that's all good. I am actually very fortunate to have the gumption to stand up to my family as well with my knitting, and many of the family members have received knitted gifts, and that has been something that I've enjoyed giving to them. So I get teased about it, but guess what? I'm a member of a family, and I think, does your family tease you for any reason at all? And that's cool. So anyhow, I hope this, he also says, gay boys are supposed to be clubbing 24/7, aren't they? Well, yeah, maybe, and I guess I'm not your typical boy. Well, in fact, I've been knitting for just about 7 years, and I'm very fortunate this weekend that a friend of mine who taught me to knit is coming into town, and I might actually try to get her on the vlog with me, and we could talk about that and how she got introduced into knitting. I think Maggie might enjoy that. It should be fun. Well, I hope you're enjoying your Colorful Loops of Daily Living, and thank you, Anthony, for that, and thank you for the great emails. I also would hope that if you are interested in having me answer any sort of question, please leave a comment in the blog, and I will include it in a future episode. All right, enjoy those colorful loops. Bye.